Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 34 of the NordCast. It's our first one in a while. It's Tuesday, August 29th, 2023. I'm your host here, North 97, joined here with Carter. How are we doing? He's in his man cave again, or in his dungeon, not the man cave.
We are back in the low quality studio. Yeah, yeah.
The only reason I remember me calling it that is from episode 3 when we had Bardner on, and you were in that low quality room. We'll get into more of that in a second, but I'm also joined here with Jack. How we doing?
Doing good in the normal space.
In the normal space.
What you got on TV today?
I got Reds versus Giants.
Oh boy. All right, so today we don't got any hockey related stuff. There really hasn't been much going on. I mean, we really haven't posted in like a month. The past couple of weeks we've been like planning to make a podcast, but then like stuff came up and we just couldn't. So this is our first time in a while actually following through with a podcast upload. We'll be more consistent when the season comes in, but like we were calling off a lot. Why are we?
I'm so sorry. I choked on water.
Oh.
Down the wrong pipe.
Here we go, Carter. Another. All right. Anyways, so we have been doing this podcast for a year. Can y'all believe that? We have been doing this podcast for a full entire year. Our first episode was August 14th, 2022 was when it was first uploaded. And boy, a lot has happened since then. 33 episodes, 34 if you include this one, but we're just going to do 33 throughout a lot of it. Over 3,000 plays overall throughout the entire course of this podcast, which is absolutely amazing for us to see. We really do appreciate that. So I didn't listen to every single episode because that's like over like 3 days worth of just podcast listening time. And I don't have that time with me because we all just started school. In fact, I'm in my junior year, Jack's a senior, and Carter's in his first year of college. So we're all moving on in the world. But regardless, so I listened to like the first like 7 episodes in full. Then I skipped around a little bit, looked for some of the iconic takes we had, listened to some of the guest episodes we had people on with. And I have put together a full entire sheet. You can't see it on camera, full of just takes, iconic moments, and dumb stuff that we've done in the past 33 episodes of this podcast. I will say that me and Carter's list is the same amount, and Jack's list is very short. Jack is very low key on this podcast. We found out, or I found out listening through these 33 episodes. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He doesn't do a lot of dumb stuff. He just mainly just says his takes and is like, you know what, I'm going to keep it at that. So he's the smart man of this. However, me and Carter are pretty stupid. So we're going to start out with Jack's list because it's the shortest. So his first take, his first main one that I saw pop up was that Ottawa wins the cup. Yeah,
I knew that was coming.
That was the biggest take. That's probably the biggest take in the history of the podcast because Ottawa was at a point in time where they just got DeBrincat, they just got Giroux, and they were looking to make a push towards the playoffs. And Jack jumped on the wagon immediately. It was like, Ottawa's going to win the cup. They're going
way too soon. Way too soon.
Yeah, we saw that definitely, especially for like the first like 3 months of the season for Ottawa. We knew that take was not coming true for sure. But hey, we all make mistakes, Jack. It's okay.
Yeah, not that bad though.
Are you going with Ottawa this year? Or are you swapping to Detroit because DeBrincat's on Detroit?
No, I'm going to Detroit this year. So.
Oh man, bandwagon. Another pick you had was you had the Flames finishing first in the Pacific Division.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I didn't realize we had a lot of stupid takes.
These are bad.
Yeah, we had a lot of dumb takes during the division predictions video. So yeah, Flames first. Might be the worst. No, it's probably the second worst one because when we get to my list, you're going to see some really dumb stuff.
At least not the worst.
And then I put this at the bottom of everyone's. You had the Bruins winning the cup at the beginning of the playoffs, which, it turned out wrong, but like all of ours were wrong, so it really isn't your fault with that. Carter's smiling right now, but I have a feeling he's not going to be soon.
Oh, I will be.
That's for sure. So yeah, that's all of Jack's stuff because Jack, Jack's the most civil person on this podcast. Me and Carter, however.
Hold on. There's one thing you forgot.
What did I forget?
In the NHL season, Jack did not win a single bet against me.
That is correct.
I went undefeated in the bets. But I will say, this is not brought up on a podcast, but Jack won his first bet against me. It happened to be on his home turf in baseball. So
Right.
yeah, that's Jack's first win against me.
Well, that is baseball, though. I am gonna say that is baseball and not hockey. So
Have you bought that hat yet?
No, I haven't. I
knew
it's so expensive. It's all in US, and it's like, bro, it's gonna be like $90. I'm like, dude, I'm
Oh.
That's insane for a hat. Like that is
Yeah.
actually wild. Like the NHL hats are like $20. There's no way the MLB hats are that much more expensive.
The fitteds
Not for
are
Canada.
insane.
Oh
They're
yeah.
just like iconic, I guess, but still too much.
So now on the Carter. And Carter has had some funny moments and some funny takes while looking through all these. So one of his takes I kind of agree with. I put it on here though because it is a take that some people really disagree with. He said Cale Makar was top 2. That was his first topic he brought up in episode 1 of the pod. Carter, I agree with you with that. So like that's a good one. We're gonna start off good, start off fresh with a nice W
on that one, Jack.
And then immediately after that, you have Sens making the playoffs.
Yeah, okay.
Not as bad as Cup.
And then Sens making the finals.
Okay, yeah, still not as bad as the Cup though.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this about Sens finals. You did say that the Sens, like, they're one of those teams of like the Cincinnati Bengals where like their offense is good, their defense is okay, but if their defense plays out of their mind, they could go on a run. That obviously didn't happen, but I mean, hey, I give you props for comparing them. Your dogs. Do you remember that episode number 2, where you had to leave because of your dog?
Oh fuck, yeah, that was a bad
That might be
one.
my favorite
I forgot about that.
And your dog. Yeah, I know. I forgot about these moments too until I listened through the old episodes. Yeah, your dog ran away. You want to enlighten us on that moment for the new viewers?
Oh god,
that was great.
So what happened was, so I was recording a podcast. I was home alone, and dogs are just going nuts. They're barking like fucking crazy. So I'm like, all right. So I go, I let them out, and I come back to do the podcast. So I record for like 5 minutes or whatever, or I don't know. I can't remember if we kept recording or not, but I know you guys stopped it. I came back. I can't remember if we recorded a bit and then I left again, or if we just left it for a little bit.
I remember what happened. I was talking because there's a TikTok up about it. If you go look back into TikTok, there's a TikTok up about it. I was talking about something, and I see you in the background going like, 1 second, guys, 1 second.
Yeah, because I went to go let them out, and then I let them back in, or wanted to, and they all fucking left. And someone, the gate didn't close, and they ran out, but then they ran back in, and I thought, and one of them, whose name is Willow, I didn't know where she was. She ran around to the backside of our deck where I didn't see her. I'm like, I'm not gonna check there. So I'm running around the streets trying to find this dog.
While me and Jack are in the room just clueless, like what is going on?
And then I'm like texting the chat. I'm like, yo, I lost my dog. My mom's gonna kill me. And that was bad. But
and then we eventually finished the episode like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It took a while. I mean, like, we've had a lot of long podcasts. But like I'd say that one was probably the longest. Like
probably
that was so much longer for me just because I was dealing with the stress of everything.
Oh yeah, that must have been horrible. Another thing you went through, I don't know if you'll remember this either, but in episode 3, your audio cut out during the Bartner episode where we had Bartner for the first time.
Yeah.
That was funny. And that was also where you were in the dungeon too. And that's when I brought up the dungeon. Like oh man.
I've had some memories here. I thought you were gonna bring up another moment that happened to me. You might have it written down, but if not, I'll say it at the end.
Okay. You had a take, and I'm going back to the takes. You had a take where Caulfield would score 30 plus goals. Not a bad take.
I said 50.
Or did you say 50? I swear
I said 50. He was gonna be close to 50 before his injury.
Look, that was. I'm not gonna lie to you. Even though you were wrong, that isn't a bad take.
Here's the thing. I don't think you can call me wrong though, because I can't predict him getting injured.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. My Line A take is pretty bad when you look back at it. Y'all might have forgotten about that, but we'll get into that in a second. But yeah, that wasn't a bad take because it was out of your hands. Detroit, top 3 in the Atlantic. That didn't go well either. I forget you had like Boston hella low. You had Boston out of the playoffs. I
think we all had Boston no one thought that they were going to be this good.
Like borderline playoffs. Borderline playoffs.
Yeah. I think we all had Boston like 5 to 6 in the divisions when I look back. I should have written down all of them just so like I could just go through them all for y'all. But regardless, you had Shane Wright winning the Calder. Wright played like 4 games in the NHL.
No, I
rough.
Switched it though. I'm pretty sure I switched it to Owen Power.
No, you had you had Power first, I believe, and then you swapped it to Wright.
Did I?
I think you did, yes.
No, I think I went Right first and switched it to Power. Well, I'll find this.
Okay.
I know we
can talk about it in the next episode. That's fine with me. But last I remember, you said Wright for Calder. What I know you said, though, was Kucherov for Hart. That was like a dark horse. I think you had McDavid, but you said Kucherov for Hart for like a second choice.
Yeah.
Wasn't terrible. Not a terrible.
Yeah, not too bad, but.
And then obviously, this might be your worst take of them all. Jets winning the cup. That was partially because.
Hey, we were the only team to have a series lead against Vegas, so I don't want to hear it.
I remember I think your actual prediction was like either like Edmonton or like Carolina or some team.
Yeah, but then okay, you want to know what went through my mind? So as I had my predictions right, and I was like, okay, like I think I'm gonna go Edmonton or Colorado or something, and then you wrote down Jackson. I'm like, so I was like, oh, he's making a post for this. I'm like, this could get something going, and so then I.
It did.
It did. It did get something going. So.
And hey, I'll give it credit to you. You had a team that was in a wild card spot going on an insane run. Except it was on the other conference where it actually happened. Yeah, none of us I don't think any of us had Florida in the playoffs.
No, probably not.
Some of us might have had Florida like 4th, but I don't think any of us had Florida in the playoffs with all they lost and all the stuff we talked about with that. I mean, hey, I'm going to have them out of the playoffs again this year, so I won't complain.
Yeah, I probably will too.
Now it's time for me.
Hold on. Before you go, this was the moment I thought you were gonna bring up. So we have a TikTok about it. It's when I set Baby Yoda up on my bed.
Oh yeah, I remember that. And then your nose started bleeding.
Yeah,
that's right. Fell. I didn't write that down. I don't know why.
Yeah, he fell, and I'm like, no, and I turn around and I go to pick him up, and I turn around and my nose is bleeding, and I'm like, buddy.
Dude, Jack's reaction's so funny. He's like looking down like this, and then he's like,
he was definitely looking at his phone, man.
I was definitely on my phone. Then I hear no.
I was definitely trying to make some fantasy football trades. I know that.
Oh yeah, he was definitely looking at something. Okay, all right. Now it's time for me. I have a lot of stuff, and there's actually some stuff I didn't even mention. On this thing. The Achilles.
Twice.
That's the first one.
I went back and rewatched that TikTok today. That is literally the best moment in the history of this podcast.
That's so funny.
Quite honestly, as much as the first one was really good, I think the second one was better. Just based on me and Jack's reactions.
Yeah.
Then you see me like, we're both just like that. Like I'm just
because in the first one you like asked us and we told you. And then the second one was so much worse because you just said it. Me and Jack both look up, check with each other, and.
Well, it's because I said it so fast. I was just like, "Oh shit!" I said it the wrong way.
Yeah.
I said Achilles. Yeah. So that'll always be a funny moment. And I can't wait till someone. Well, never mind. I had Vegas 7th. In the Pacific Division.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were so low on Vegas.
I had Vegas freaking 7th. I had the Stanley Cup champions freaking 7th.
Oh my
god. And yeah, they went to win a cup. So in my defense, I didn't like the goaltending. I didn't like the defense. They didn't have a lot of depth at the time. I was proven wrong on all 3 of those points. But really, I still don't think I was that wrong looking back at listening to those episodes. I I don't know when I mentioned this, but like I said that like there was a possibility that Patrick Kane could go to the Flames. I don't know.
Did you say that?
Apparently, like I heard it in the first episode that I listened to. I'm like, what? Why did I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the weird ones y'all probably forgot about.
You could not have been further from the truth.
Honestly, he went to the other conference, not like the other side of the continent. I had Kirill Kaprizov ranked 5th in my player rankings when we did that with Partner. Probably wrong now, but like that wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
Line 55 goals.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
I mean,
the injury.
It was bad, but like there was the injury too. It plays in with like the Caulfield thing. But even then, like it was a little bit of a stretch.
It's not like he was like gonna get like it. I know you hate the whole on pace thing, but it didn't look like he was on pace even with.
No, he wasn't. He definitely wasn't. I had the Panthers missing the playoffs. That I wrote down. That turned out to be wrong. So I had both of the Stanley Cup final teams this year not in the playoffs, and I think I had them in the. I think I had them both 7th in the Atlantic. So yeah, that is just brutal.
Yeah, that's right.
The Tanev picture. Do y'all remember that?
Yeah.
When I wanted to do the Tanev picture, I didn't do it too well when I look back. I was like this. I looked horrible.
Are you doing it this year?
The Jaromir Jagr picture day this year, that was going to look pretty good.
Oh yeah, there you go.
With the
Please tell me you're curling that.
I think I'm going to curl.
Oh, you totally should.
Yes.
Yeah. So fire. I'm going to look like I'm from the 80s.
To be honest though, permed and curled mullets, I think look better than the straight one.
Yeah, I agree for sure. I had the Devils 7th.
Oh.
So 3 of the 4 division teams that I had 7th, I was completely wrong about. Yeah. I think Arizona 7th in the Central, and that was the only one that I was right about. Everyone else, I did horrible. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I will defend myself a little bit here. Nobody thought the Devils were going to have that good of a season. I don't think any of y'all had the Devils being that bad, so I'm not mad about that.
You mean
there was the kidnap story. Remember that when I was walking?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And a Penguins fan tried to kidnap me. I have gum. He had gum. Trudent gum is what I said in the podcast. I was trying it, and then Carter Achilles. So I never. Honestly, it was so long ago. So like I'm just like screwed at this point. Mid podcast, I forget what episode it was. It was like episode 11. I actually asked out a girl. I'm gonna say this on here because I really don't care. I asked out a girl, okay, right before we were gonna record, and I'm like, screw it, why not? So I asked her out. We recorded, took our break. She messaged me on the break. I am, and this is at the point where like I was terrified to talk to girls. I was horrified. I'm gonna let Carter take it away from here because I literally had to give him my Snapchat login information.
Guys, the guy was so rattled. He had to have me check.
Dude, I was terrified. I was like, oh my God, I was so, it's so embarrassing to talk about, but I don't care at this point.
It was, I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot of fun, especially because I was logged into your Snap for the next 2 days.
I was wondering, like, who the hell is like opening these snaps and sending photos, and why is it in Winnipeg? It said on like my other friend's snaps, it's like Nordic traveled from Pennsylvania to Winnipeg, Manitoba, and then in literally like an hour. Like it was so random. But yeah, long story short, she said no. It's whatever. It doesn't really matter. It was like nearly a year ago, so it's
an event.
Point. Honestly, I don't care. This podcast is more important. And then finally, I had the Oilers winning the cup. So out of all those, I was the most right of all of our cup predictions. But that's all I got. That's all our most iconic moments from the NordCast. Obviously, there's a lot of other ones that I didn't mention, like a lot of the Jack Gessa players and me and Carter just absolutely fumbling. I could have just mentioned so many of those, but you know what? I'm going to save me and Carter the embarrassment. Now we are still yet to get one.
Yeah.
So we're not going to do that today. We'll do that next episode when we have backup to help us. But regardless, some more iconic moments that don't regard us, some iconic hockey moments that we've talked about, some trades, some stuff like that. Episode 2, we did the Michael McNiven interview where he interviewed a goalie who was like a third string for Montreal. Definitely one of the cooler things we've done. It was early on too. It was great to do that with these guys. Episode 10, we had like 3-hour overview of like looking at all the teams in the standings. Yeah, wow. We're doing that again. Yeah, no. I realized like after the first like episode, I'm like, we're not doing this again. No. Some other stuff. Episode 2, Nazem Kadri went to Calgary after saying he was going to go to New York and then went to Calgary. Absolutely bamboozled us. Episode 2 then as well was the World Juniors when Canada won it and they won against Finland in OT. Do you guys remember that? Like when the puck was like barely about across the line?
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that. Like that
was wild. I had to live stream it because me and my dad were watching a movie and I saw that it was going overtime and I'm like, hey, I kind of have to watch it.
Yeah.
And Finland was like inches away from winning it too.
Yeah, that was wild.
But they didn't. Go Canada.
Speaking of World Juniors, what happened it wasn't like on the podcast, but it was like during the same period as this podcast. My war with Czechia. That was one of the crazier things that's ever happened, and not just the NordCast history, but the history of like my entire platform.
Yeah,
like, that was insane. Like I was going to war with an entire country. Like I was literally like trending in school because like everyone was like asking me like Nordic, how's the Czechia comments today? Like they were death threats to my family. It was insane. And honestly, you look back at those World Junior predictions, I got like 95% of it right. You swap Czechia and Sweden and USA, and I aced that.
Yeah.
Literally got 100% on it. So I'm just flexing there. Episode we had Mbon Hockey on the podcast. Episode 4, we talked about the Nathan McKinnon contract, was at the time the most highest paid contract in the NHL. Austin Matthews obviously beat that out. Episode 6, we talked about the reverse retros. We graded them. That's when the Carter Baby Yoda moment happens. Now that I remember that locked in my mind. Episode 7, we had TKD, BJ, Max, BJJ on the pod, a Bruins fan on TikTok. Talked about the Boston Bruins and how dominant they've been. Episode 13, we had LeBlanc James in the podcast. Episode 22 and 27, we have Seth Chasen on the podcast. Episode 17, we talked about the trade deadline. The Patrick Kane trade, the Vladimir Tarasenko trade, all the other trades that happened there too, some pretty iconic ones. And then obviously in episode 29, we talked about the Stanley Cup, the draft, Bedard, the Hawks getting the first overall pick, draft lottery being rigged, some of the memories that come to my mind when we do this stuff. Obviously, Jack's guest player is another big one there too that I mentioned earlier. But yeah, 33 episodes total. Been a very fun ride. I really have enjoyed going with these guys. We brought on quite a few guests through that span as well. We plan to bring on some more. We're looking at doing it way more often through the second year. I looked at a lot of the episodes. It was mainly just us for like 95% of the episodes. So I want to bring on more guests if these guys are cool with that. Bring on some more. Not even like people that are like actually like big on like platforms or anything or hockey players. Bring on fans. Make it different. No other podcast, to my knowledge, would bring on like actual genuine fans to come in and voice their opinions. You know what? Screw it. I might bring on. We're gonna bring on someone who has a relatively has kind of a following on TikTok. He won the fantasy league for the NordCast this past year, which by the way, season 2 will be happening.
How much for my trophy?
He is a Calgary Flames fan, so he's gonna be on to talk about us with the Pacific Division preview in a few weeks. But yeah, it's been quite a ride. I appreciate y'all for coming in and listening to me for 33 episodes. Obviously there too. So if you guys have anything you want to say, go ahead and say it before I preview into the next.
Yeah, it's been a really fun year. Thank you everyone for listening.
You got nothing, Carter?
NordCast country. Let's ride.
I'll say you're not gonna thank the fans. Whatever. So.
Hey, I said let's ride.
You're right. So with year 1 out of the way, it was a very experimental year. We experimented with a lot of stuff. Some stuff worked, some stuff didn't. So we're going to take that into account as we head into year 2. So to start off year 2, we're gonna do a lot of stuff. The first 4 weeks of September. I know September starts in a few days technically. But the first 4 weeks of September, we're gonna be doing division previews. We're gonna go in this order. We're gonna do Pacific, we're gonna do Metro, we're gonna do Central, and we're gonna do the Atlantic Division. So we're gonna go in that order. Pacific starts off next week. We're going to work on a date to record. We're going to bring on fans from certain teams. As I mentioned, we're going to bring on someone named Aiden, who's a Calgary Flames fan. Maybe we'll bring on someone who's an Oilers fan. Maybe we'll bring on someone who's Knights, Canucks. Whatever I can find, we'll try and bring some people on here to talk about their teams and talk about the Pacific Division overall. And all the divisions overall. So yeah, that's kind of the main thing we have planned. We're going to have some other stuff come out, some more TikTok stuff. Some more YouTube related stuff. But yeah, this is mainly just a 1-year anniversary episode, and this officially concludes year 1 of the NordCast. It's time to get into year 2. So do you have anything else? If you want to plug your socials, do it right now. I know I did this time last year, so go ahead.
All right. Instagram is just Jack Poco. Twitter, same thing. TikTok, don't really post on there. So yeah.
Carter?
If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's crich19, TikTok, carter.nhl. If you want to follow my other Instagram, woo let's go JP. Trying to get back on posting for year 2, so I definitely give woo let's go JP a great look. It's definitely a great Instagram account. If you're looking for something to make you smile on a day-to-day basis, I definitely recommend woo let's go JP. It's great account. Great account.
You haven't posted on there in absolutely forever.
I've been waiting for year 2.
Oh yeah.
Year 2. I guess that's valid enough. But
Jack,
yeah.
I have an arsenal of some that have never been released.
Okay.
I got you.
Oh boy, he's been talking to the inside link. Not gonna
to the paparazzi.
Yeah, it's just Tessa and my brother.
Basically, yeah, he's been cooking. But yeah, that concludes episode number 34 of the NordCast. We'd like to thank you all very much for watching or listening. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe down below if you're on the YouTube end of things, or if you're on the podcast end of things. Give us a good review, shoot us a follow, and keep listening for more episodes. Regardless, I'm Nordic97. The guy in the Dakota shirt is Carter. The guy in the Cubs hat is Jack. And anyways, I will see you guys next
That's the Bears. It's not even the Cubs.
Or the Bears.
You have no sports knowledge.
Whoops. That guy in the Bears.
Bears.
Oh, okay, goodbye.
The Chili's.
I'm done.